Copter 271, an inglorious end for the GX4000. With the GX4000 out from the Sonic review, I thought let's look at another GX4000 game, the last commercially released game, dated September 1991, a full year after the release of the GX4000, at a time when even in France the GX4000 was being sold for 390 francs, or about 40 quid. The game's by, and I can never know how to say this, Lorixel, it's Auric in the middle, isn't it? Anyway. And the back of the box says, the first arcade game designed exclusively for the GX4000 and CPC Plus. You'll be amazed by its speed, graphics and stereophonic soundtrack. Multi-directional scrolling. 37 colours displayed, 1 or 2 players simultaneously, 4 different locations with 164 screens each. With various bonus features make this game a benchmark for the GX4000. Well, we'll be the judges of that. This game doesn't come out on any other system. It is just GX4000, and boy, September 1991 is pretty late. So you get the introduction screen there. And there is a 2-player co-op mode. I'll show that briefly a bit later on. You get a bit of text in French, and you go, what's going on here? Well, it is a predominantly French game. And then it will give it you in English, like this was probably ever sold in England, because who was going to stock it? Certainly didn't get a review in Amstrad Action, well, until a later roundup of games. Something collect Command A Day Bottom Copter. Oh, you have volunteered to annihilate the invaders because they're aliens, and you take off on board of the latest Copter. Avec vous, do you have a code? I do, but that's for cheating later. And look at this nice high-resolution display panel at the top. Or medium resolution, sorry. And then everything else is mode 0, apart from your copter sprite. And you're moving along. There is inertia on your helicopter, so it's quite difficult to control. We've got a power up there, and it will beep when things appear on the screen. But so far, so SWIV-like. Looking quite polished. Don't like the blue border. That's a bit naff. Should at least be the same colour as the background there. Isn't the blue colour the default border display on the CPC? If you don't set it, I think it is. It's not black. I don't think if you don't set the border colour, it goes to the pink one, blue. But so far, so good. And this game was trailed up to a year before its release. The publisher released Tennis Cup for the CPC that was pretty good, and wanted to do a game that really showed the GX4000 Plus features off. And wanted to do a game exclusively for these systems. So, there we go. Inertia is a little bit annoying, in that it's easy to overshoot. Your status display up top, I really like that. Oh, I'm going to die, aren't I? Yes, my helicopter has blown up with an enlarged sprite. Apparently, the development of the game was significantly delayed because it should have been out far, far earlier. Commercially, yes, it should have been out far, far earlier. Oh dear, those don't work too well, do they? Yeah, because, you know, it's September 1991, and Amstrad are now selling off the console really cheaply, even in France. Although still advertising it in France. Incidentally, we mustn't conflate the failure of the GX4000 with the Plus machines failing, because they didn't. Quick shout out to the people who've given to ChinnyVision on Ko-Fi recently. Thanks to you, I've been able to fund the ChinnyVision podcast for another year. So thank you for your amazing support. And there's a bonus video to do with the Sonic video on there as well. Free for everyone to view on Ko-Fi. Details in the description below. Cheers. And you'll begin to notice something with this game. The more there is on screen, the more the game slows down. You don't really notice it at this stage. There are 12 levels. Each level lasts about 15 minutes. Yeah, 12 levels, 15 minutes each. Still, you're hoping for some variety, right? You're hoping for some variety. Amstrad Cent Pour Cent in France, Cent Pour Cent, reviewed the game. And they talk about its development. We've died there. They talk about its development and how the software publisher were keen to make a GX4000 only game. And they even covered its developments. I'll come to the conclusion in a bit because I want you to look at the game first. But it's so far quite repetitive, although, again, different power-ups allow you to blow up the bases here. It's not always... Well, you're supposed to look at the top left. You can see what you've got, but you're usually too busy just trying to get out of the way, which you often can't. Because of the inertia on your helicopter and the slowdown, quite often, by the time you've seen something, you die, and that's game over. There. But now I've got a code, so we can go on to level 2, and hopefully we're going to see some difference. Yeah. The problem is with this game is once you've seen level 1, and in fact once you've seen a few minutes of level 1, that's pretty much it. There's a few things added as we go along, but it's always this kind of a sea with islands in it. Always the same baddies. They might come at you a bit faster and a bit more aggressively. And if you look carefully, when the baddies shoot at you and you scroll to the left or right, the bullets don't move proportionally. They just stay in front of you. You won't see it yet. It becomes more obvious when the game gets harder. But yeah, you move out the way, but the bullets are still actually in front of you. You do appear to have some kind of shield where you can hit stuff from the side and it doesn't hurt you. And how did a game that is like this take over a year to develop? It's more than likely the developers have put onto something else, isn't it? And what return did they think they were going to get in September 1991 from a cartridge game? I mean, those poor people in Wales who Amstrad got to manufacture the cartridges were probably going, oh, phew, finally some work to duplicate a few games for this system. Because I don't know if you know, but the cartridge manufacturer was contracted in 1988, which indicates to me, I always wondered if the GX4000 might have been intended to be released in 1989. Then Amstrad got embroiled in the PC 2000 problems and just fell behind and released it in 1990. Amstrad Cent Pour Cent say, in everyone's opinion at the editorial office, and I did translate this via Google Translate, Copter 271 isn't the most mind-blowing cartridge game ever developed for the CPC Plus. That doesn't mean it's the worst. Quite the opposite. Let's not forget that this was the first shoot-'em-up in this format, and the genre's launch was rather successful. What? I'll just put that down to Google Translate. The game's biggest flaw doesn't lie with its developers. We can tell they were full of good intentions when playing Copter. Developers are always full of good intentions. I'm sure the people who coded Count Duckula 2 didn't plan to put out an absolutely rubbish game, but they did. And what these guys have done, this is one of the later levels now, and you do get some ships to bomb, but it gets rather slow and chuggy. And oh dear, yes, it's like really slow, as in hard driving on the C64 slow. Yeah, and it even glitches like that. Oh my. Apparently the fault of this game doesn't lie with the developers. I would suggest it does. No, apparently, according to the magazine, the problem with these games stems from Amstrad England, which can only produce a few rare, high-quality titles as long as publishers couldn't make games of larger... Amstrad weren't publishing the... Yeah, I mean, Amstrad did limit you to 128k of ROM per game, and the magazine argues they must allow development on 512k ROMs at a reasonable price, otherwise development, sales and future of the GX4000 will continue their downward spiral. It's gone! It's dead! This console is dead. It is Finn. It is an ex-console. I mean, I can see there be memory limited, and that's why I've got so many... Oh dear. But nothing's going to solve this slowdown, is it? And they say this is the first original game for the GX4000. Well, Burning Rubber's an original game. It's by the coders of WEC Le Mans. I don't know if there's any WEC Le Mans code in there, but it is a completely original game. And a lot of games were coded. They say, all the GX4000 games were coded from existing CPC games. Pang is an exclusively coded for the GX4000. Navy SEALs is exclusively coded for the GX4000. Robocop 2 is exclusively coded for the GX4000. Hell, the dreadfulness that is Chase HQ 2, if we ever get to play it, was coded exclusively for the GX4000, although in that case, probably ported from the Spectrum. And by the way, if you want to see what this game looks like in 2-player, it looks like this. And yeah, it's a co-op mode, which is really cool. Except, can you imagine how slow it's going to get when it gets to these sections and the later levels? Twice as slow as this? Oh dear! I mean, like cells, if that's how you say it, have shot themselves in the foot here by putting out a dreadful game a year late. The problem with the GX4000 wasn't Amstrad limiting the size of the cartridges, it was shoddy software publishers. That includes people who shoveled stuff onto the GX4000 like Palace, who put Barbarian onto the system, and people like you guys here, these guys here, who are just not playing to the strength of the system and come up with a slow pile of rubbish. Oh dear me, I've ranted so much I've missed the end of the game. Copter 271, a dreadful late game, which probably sold in minute quantities. As a static screenshot, and early on you're quite impressed. The medium res status display, the medium res sprite, and then lots of action going on. And then you realise that's it, that's all there is to this game because you ain't seeing any more. And then you find out it slows down when the game gets busy. Not being able to have a larger cartridge doesn't excuse the fact this game horrifically slows down. Yes, it means there's no variety in the game and it's the same thing over and over for 12 levels of 15 minutes each. And at least there is a level code system. 25 quid, 250 francs for this absolute tosh. Why did it even get released? What a waste of a cartridge. Okay, people looking for a new game for their GX4000 for Christmas 1991 could have bought this, but I suggest they might have been better than just buying a Master System than this absolute trash. All the boasting on the back about speed, graphics and stereophonic sound and 37 colours make for nothing when you come to play this stuff. It is slow, it is jerky, it is boring, it is repetitive. And do you know what score Amstrad Cent Pour Cent gave this? 81%! 81! That's a meagre action levels of delusion. Why is it even called Copter 271? Well, I can give you 271 reasons to avoid this total rubbish.